Cole Anthony was a consensus top 4 player in the 2019 high school recruiting class. As a senior at Oak Hill Academy, he averaged an 18-point triple-double, and he would play his college basketball at North Carolina. However, due to injuries and a lack of talent around him, Cole would struggle and he would lower his draft stock. And while he entered the year as a projected top 5 pick, he was taken 15th overall by the Orlando Magic. However, despite an injury that has kept him sidelined until at least the All-Star break, he's been impressive so far in his rookie season, showing why he should have been picked a lot higher than he did. And today I'm going to be talking about his rookie season. But before we get into today's video, if you're new and you like basketball, I really think you would love this channel. So if you haven't already, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos that take elements from film essays and apply them to basketball. I also make videos covering draft prospects and high school prospects, so if you're into either of those things, this is the channel for you. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year and 5,000 subscribers by the end of April, so doing all of these things would be a big help to me. Also, make sure you follow my Twitter, link to everything in the description below. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. Now, it should be known that I was higher on Cole Anthony than most others were during the draft process. I had him rated as my number 6 overall prospect in the draft and my number 3 point guard in the draft behind LaMelo Ball and Killian Hayes. I had him going 7th overall to the Detroit Pistons. I thought people were putting way too much thought into his lone season at North Carolina. I believe that it was more about the situation around him than it was about his talent. He was playing injured most of the time, and he was really the only offensive creator on a team. So when you put that much pressure on a freshman to carry a team, it's not always going to go well. But as I mentioned earlier, despite me being really high on him, he would end up falling to the 15th overall pick. And so far, you could say that it's been an up and down rookie season for Cole. On the surface, 11 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and 3.8 assists per game on a 46.9 true shooting percentage doesn't seem great. However, he has shown flashes throughout the season. In 17 games as a starter, he's averaging 12.1 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, and 3.9 assists per game on 49.4 true shooting percentage. And while the true shooting percentage isn't great, 37.1% from 3 on 3.6 attempts is encouraging. He's a decent finisher at the rim as he shoots 60% from the 0 to 3 foot range. And prior to the game where he got hurt, the 10 previous games before that, he was averaging 13 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, and 4.8 assists per game on 56.4 true shooting percentage. I would say right now Cole Anthony is an inconsistent 3-point shooter, but I do think the signs are encouraging. I think at worst he's going to be an average 3-point shooter. I think at his best he could be one of the better 3-point shooters in the league. He's had 10 games this season where he shot at least 40% from 3. And the thing is, despite the up and downs, it's to be expected. He's going to have his struggles as a rookie. He's entering the season dealing with injuries, and along with his fellow 2020 draft mates, he's entering the league under less ideal circumstances and things that no other rookie has really had to deal with. Add on top of this, he plays the hardest position in the sport to adjust to from college to the pros, and you can see why he's going to struggle considering all the factors that go into how we enter the league. In fact, I would say that his rookie season is very similar to what Kemba Walker's rookie season is. Now, I'm not saying Cole Anthony is going to be what Kemba Walker was in Charlotte, but when you compare the numbers, it's very similar. Now, what do I believe the ceiling on Cole Anthony is? Well, it's kind of hard to gauge an accurate idea of what his ceiling is. First of all, because he's only played 25 games in his rookie season so far. But secondly, because anything can happen. Anything is possible. We saw that with two guys that just made the All-Star team this year, Zach LaVine and Julius Randle. Both of those guys had ceilings that, weren't necessarily the highest that people viewed like a year or two ago, but now they've elevated their games to a ceiling that's much higher than what we thought it maybe even last year. So again, just because of that, I think anything's possible. If I had to guess, a second or third option on a team that can put up 25 and 5, I think the rebounds and assists already are encouraging for someone that can average at least 5 rebounds, probably more than 5 rebounds, and at least 5 assists. He's one of the better rebounding guards in the league already, in my opinion, and he's only like a 6'2" rookie. And I think that the passing is gonna come along. I think those assist numbers are gonna get higher. I have seen some comparisons to guys like Jamal Murray and Colin Sexton for Cole Anthony, and while I do agree that he fits the archetype of the small scorer-first combo guard, I don't really agree with those comparisons. I just think it's kind of lazy because you're just kind of throwing them into the archetype. There are players that fit the same archetype that aren't similar players necessarily. I definitely think that Cole Anthony has more potential as a passer than probably both of them. Definitely Colin Sexton. I think he's a better rebounder than both of them. I think Cole Anthony is well on his way to being one of the best rebounding point guards in the league, and he's only like 6'2", 185 pounds. So I really just don't see that kind of comparison with them. So it is what it is, I guess. I wouldn't compare him to anyone. I think every player in the league is unique in their own right. But only time will tell with his ceiling. That's the best way I can put it. And I truly do believe that Orlando has a very young, fun backcourt. Now, I know they both are dealing with injuries because Markelle Fultz has the ACL, obviously, and Cole Anthony has this rib injury. But when both of them are playing, I definitely think that could be something fun. They're two guys that are very capable of playing both guard spots. I think they could work well together. It's two players that I've kind of always been rooting for. I've been rooting for Markelle Fultz ever since, the injuries, because I saw how special he was coming out of Washington, and I'm rooting for his success, because what happened to him early on in his career, it's just sad, and, you never want to see that happen to someone. And with Cole Anthony, I've just been defending him for an entire draft season, and I want to see him succeed, because, you want to see somebody that a lot of people are doubting prove those doubters wrong, and I think Cole Anthony has a chance to do that. So I definitely think it's a very fun backcourt to root for. And I do think that Cole Anthony is a lesson that a lot of people can learn from. Yeah, he's not having the greatest rookie season, but he's been showing a lot of signs of promise, and I definitely think that he's on an upward trend if he can stay healthy. And it's that this, I know we didn't have a great year at North Carolina efficiently-wise, but he was still putting up good scoring numbers, good rebounding numbers, and decent assist numbers for somebody that was the primary guy on offense, and really the only guy that they could go to on offense as a freshman. And I think people just looked at his efficiency numbers in college and assumed that, oh, he's just not an efficient player, when it had a lot more to do with the lack of spacing and the injuries he was dealing with as to why he was struggling at times. But when you watched him play, you saw somebody that should have been a top 10 pick in this draft. You saw somebody that maybe could have gone as high as a top 5 depending on the team. You saw the talent of somebody that could be a guy that lasts in the league for a long time and maybe has a chance to be special. You saw somebody that could average 20 points a game in the league one day. And I think that because people just looked at his college numbers, they assumed he wasn't good. So the lesson here is, don't just look at the college numbers. You actually have to watch them play to understand the context behind those numbers. But that is the end of this video. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much. Comment down below, what do you think about Cole Anthony? Do you think that he was a steal? Do you think he's overrated, underrated? What are your thoughts on him? What do you think his ceiling is? What do you think his floor is? How do you think he's going to come back from the injuries? Do you think he's the future of Orlando? Things like that. I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those things. Help me reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also, try to get this video to 100 likes so YouTube will recommend it to others. Follow me on Twitter. Links to everything will be in the description below as always. But with that being said, have a nice day.